देख लें आप लोग कहते हैं इन पर्सन इवेंट्स हो कितना पुश करा के हमने कराया और कितने लोग हैं लेकिन कोई नहीं आहिस्ता आहिस्ता as this become a ritual people will get used to it inshallah
sir also timing sir भी होता है ऑफिस टाइम
can you hear me
लिखा हुआ है yes बहुत ज्यादा
can you hear me Shakil here
there were 400 registrations first come first serve जिन्होंने कमिट किया जो नहीं आए उन्होंने ज्यादती की जो बाकी आना चाहते थे उन्होंने अपनी सीट रिजर्व कराई है
I don't think Arun can you hear us
yes yes
सीट आपके लिए रिजर्व है
fantastic
उनका भी नुकसान होना था कि उसको नहीं मिल सकी Can you hear us clearly? If anyone from the other offices can tell us, can you hear us clearly?
sir आपकी आवाज आ रही है हमें
Let's see us and hear us.
Yes, I think they can hear us. So we've tested that.
Okay.
Just that during this session, if you can keep your microphones on mute to avoid echo, and once if anybody from Karachi, Islamabad, they want to ask a question, please unmute then and then speak. Okay, and after the question, after you ask the question, you just go back to mute again, so that there is no echo in the call. Thank you. We make a beginning. May I introduce the captain?
I feel that would be the better way.
I will sit here. Thank you very much, gentlemen, and I must ensure that we are all gentlemen everywhere. I mean, that's my usual beginning. I feel like since diversity is one of the values of ACCA, however, accounting profession finds diversity a challenge, and by skill set, mashallah, our body is very, very diverse, but by gender also, even though we are leading in gender diversity, but still I think our the other gender finds it a little difficult to engage in this one. But in any case, this is the beginning. This is the first session, and I extend a very warm welcome to all of you to this first member meetup. Okay. Now, the intention very quickly, and then I'll hand over to Mr. Omar, who's going to further elaborate on this. Okay. But I must say that this was an initiative rolled out by the Members Network Panel. Okay. And just because the feedback we're getting was that members wanted engagement with each other physically. Webinars, too many webinars, excellent, but where's the face-to-face engagement? So we thought the face-to-face engagement cannot just be over dinners or lunches, etc. It has to be meaningful. And that's why we're kicking off with this very, very important topic on entrepreneurship, but very practical aspects of entrepreneurship as we discussed. So our members network panel, and I hope all of you are aware of what the members network panel is. If you're not, Omar Saab is here and he's going to explain it. Took this initiative. They said they're going to take on this initiative of engaging members, bringing them closer every station, and we're going to continue on from there. So the first session, when we ran the session, we got about 400 registrations, and that was heartwarming. And we felt that our space will be a little short for accommodating 400. But in any case, we did roll out the option of attending through webinar. It's not that we are just only these many people sitting here. If we look at our list of attendees, there are about 23 more attendees who are listening to us, sitting in the comfort of their homes or working in their offices and still listening to us. So my friends, one point is proven, that webinar still remains a popular medium, at least for now. All right, thank you very much. I must now welcome Mr. Umar Zahir Mir. The name is very familiar. The gentleman I must say, a very, very strong support for ACC across Pakistan. He is he's been elected as the chairperson or the chairman of the members network panel this year, and has had the privilege of representing ACCA Pakistan at the International Assembly, which is held in the UK lately, where the chairs of all members network panel from across the world gather, and they share their ideas and the activities happening in each market, the dynamics of each market. So Umar represented us there, and the feedback we're getting from every nook and corner of ACCA now is that every council member wants to come to Pakistan. They're saying there's such fantastic work happening in Pakistan, we must come down and see it for ourselves happening, right? So that's the feeling that we have about Pakistan from them. It's very important that under the uncertain environment, economic environment, Pakistan, unless we draw attention towards ourselves, right, we will probably not become as popular as we want to be. So without any further ado, I know we are running by the time. We probably try to finish by 6, quarter past 6. Yes. So I'll invite Mr. Umar Zahir to come over and say a few words. Thank you very much.
Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Oh Allah, open my heart and ease my task for me, and remove the impediments from my speech so that they may understand what I say. First of all, thank you very much, Harun sir, and thank you to ACCA Pakistan for listening to us and executing this proposal. This is a historic day, and I would like to congratulate you all for this happening. As you would, or at least most of you would certainly be aware, that this was a long-standing demand by members that there should be networking events, and more networking events in person rather than just webinars. There were certain issues, there were certain procedures, certain nitty-gritty that has to be worked out, but we have started this. And the good news is this is not just a one-off. At least the idea is, and inshallah we will make sure that this happens with your support and participation to make it a regularity. How often the occurrence would depend on you, your participation. We would like this to eventually be happening at least every week across all ACCA Pakistan offices simultaneously. So we are starting with Lahore, Karachi, Islamabad, but we would like Multan, Faisalabad, Peshawar offices also to be engaged in these series. However, that would only be possible with your participation. I do understand the work schedule and all, but we have to understand the value these interactions bring. I've often met members who say that, look, ACCA did give us a good qualification. It did open certain doors for us. However, in their belief, they are not getting similar opportunities like some other member bodies. Whenever I hear these arguments, I advise them according to their circumstances, but there are at least a few common themes that I always advise. Number one, are you working on your soft skills? Not just your finance skills. How good is your communication? How presentable you are? How confident you are? And I would like to welcome our MNP member, Fiza here. Fiza, can you give a hand? And finally, I can say, ladies and gentlemen, we have the diversity now, thanks to our MNP member. And Fiza, by the way, is also the chair of the Society for Women in Finance. So coming back to the point, we were discussing about this initiative, Fiza. When I hear this from members, the first thing I drive their attention towards is their softer skills, to work on themselves. The second, to look for the networking opportunity. The bonding that you create within your network is extremely important. Do you guys know that ACCA, as per my knowledge, the information I've received, is now the largest accountancy body in Pakistan too, in terms of members, students, and affiliates. Okay, it has surpassed all the local bodies. And I'm not even referring to all the global connections and the global passport that you have. But what is that network if you are not a part of it? If you are not getting connected with it, if you are not availing it? That's why we, as a whole team, and I personally too, push this agenda with ACC officials, and this dream has become a reality. And now the idea is that ultimately all the webinars should have the physical attendance like this, starting from this point. However, once again, I would stress that would depend on your participation. If you would take time out, you would come, this would grow. If you would not show interest, if you would stay at your homes or offices, and even after making reservation, do not show up and not even inform, then what would happen? What would be the feedback the organization would take from it? So as professionals, we should look at that. Having briefed you about this, let me tell you that these are exciting times. Your MNP and I, being honored as the chair of your MNP, has been taking lot of initiatives to further the brand ACC. You would be, if you are following, you would be watching so many different engagements ACC now is having with the regulators. You would already know that ACC can practice taxation in Pakistan now. There are major strides in other areas as well, and major achievements are being done. Regarding today's session, I wish we had more time, but I have to keep it brief. The way Harun was coming, that is like we have that understanding. I understand now the body language, so I'll try to cut it short. We have our presenter here, Zishan, too, who would be running you through the entrepreneurship stuff today. So the theme for today's session is entrepreneurship. This is running concurrently in 3 offices physically. And as I shared with you, the idea is to ultimately have it across all the national ACC offices in all the cities. This is also being broadcasted through webinar across the entire region. I think the members from Pakistan registered for this one, but ultimately that would be our aim, to have the reach throughout the region. So I would urge you all to make the best use of today, ask any questions you want to, take this with you and share with other members in your network. Tell them about this thing that's happening. Ask them to attend them in future too, so that they can be a part of this and engage with your network. Most of you would already have my contact details. If not, just Google me, Umar Zahir Mir. You'll have my WordPress site. My contact details are there. Send me an email. I'll add you in the ACCA WhatsApp groups we have and other network too. So that would be a way of connecting, and we'll be sharing such information in future too, inshallah, so you can attend these events in future too. With this, I would like to once again thank ACCA for accepting our proposal and rolling out this initiative, just like so many other initiatives. And I would like to appreciate the close working that your member network panel and the executive team has been doing for a long time now, resulting in many productive outcomes for ACCA. With this, I would like to pass this on to Harun, so he can invite our presenter for today's Ishansa, and we can formally begin the session. Thank you. Have a good day.
Thank you very much, for your elaborate remarks. I think we are slowly filling up the room in Karachi and Islamabad also. So you can see 2 of our members sitting in Islamabad and a few sitting in Karachi. Without any further ado, I would like to invite Zishan Razak. So this gentleman, a good friend of mine, and very enthusiastic about talking about entrepreneurship. And by the way, we are always looking for people with great ideas, with great inspiration, with the motivation to engage with members, right? So we're always on the lookout. And Zishan, mashallah, had that credibility, that tendency, and he came over with a complete presentation on what he wants to deliver for the members. Quite elaborate. So we sat down, we discussed, we modified it, etc., etc. I included a few aspects, removed it, and then we had a discussion with Sajid as well day before yesterday. And after quite a bit of conversation, we've agreed on the content that's going to be shared to you. needless to say, I mean, I'm not the expert on entrepreneurship, Zishan is, but it's extremely important that in order to even support the economy of our country, entrepreneurs, take the center stage. And that's what the Prime Minister has also, although the idea was a little sort of here and there, but sorry, don't pick up any messages from this, but
Bill Gates, Arun.
Bill Gates. But the point is that, I mean, we don't want accountants to start raising chicken. I mean, accountants should be entrepreneurs, and there are many, many opportunities for them, and probably as a result of this session, a lot of ideas might just start coming to your mind. Zishan is going to jog your minds on how to come up with ideas, how to thrash down ideas, and then from there on, it's not a matter of just thinking about ideas and forgetting about them and moving on. It's not a bed of roses. It's a very difficult situation. It's a risk or a gamble that you have to take. It's a plunge that you have to make, right? And how to plan it in advance. That's what we're going to talk about. Okay, so let me welcome Zishan. I did not introduce Zishan, as a member, as his journey, and I'd like Zishan to take that honor himself. Please come to the stage.
Assalamu alaikum. I'm really grateful to Harun sir and Umar Zahir sir for such a brief introduction regarding the different initiatives a member network panel is taking and what really ACC wants to benefit their members and their affiliates from this professional accountants body. Well, about me, these keys will be working. Okay.
So here you are.
Okay. Here I am, Mohammad Ishan Razak. I would like to introduce myself. I'm a member, a fellow member, and 9 years plus experience as a professional accountant. But right now I'm standing in front of you as an entrepreneur because our topic is about the entrepreneurship. Myself, actually, right now, currently, I'm involved in 3 entrepreneurial ventures. One is SUBT, that is regarding technopreneurship as well. We are working, it's in R&D stage. We are using blockchain technology for ensuring the quality of food we are consuming day in, day out basis. Primarily, we will be working towards dairy. The dairy products, the more flawed and more issues we are day in, day out, we are actually facing issues with dairy products. So blockchain, it will be actually a closed circuit. We all, mashallah, the professional network, and we know the technology. The second venture is I'm running a professional accountancy firm named as Global Corporate Associates. And the third one is we are running a business in educational sector. Educational sector, we're providing courses in paramedical and pharmaceutical sciences, altogether a different field. But the thing is, in terms of entrepreneurship, this is what I am currently involved in. So as Harun Saab has mentioned, this is actually a purposeful meetup. This is not just for a slight mushiness. How are you doing? How are you doing? We are here with a purpose, and that purpose is we are actually going to run a few webinars and exercises to help you, brainstorm how you can, as being a professional accountant, what ventures you can take on and how you can be a successful entrepreneur. As once Frederick Lewis in 1920s, he once said that specific era as it is an entrepreneurial right, and the same phrase can work for now times as well, not on the global scale. Globally, it is more preferable. In Pakistani entrepreneurial ecosystem, it is really exciting and it's really working on. So we need to understand that what we can make out of this How to go back? Double click.
Previous.
Okay, this is fine. Well, ladies and gentlemen, as we have ladies here, so I can frankly say use this word. So the purpose of this is this whole seminar, and inshallah we will have furthermore in coming future. It is a complete designed course. If we what the vision we have behind this is we want 100 new startups out of you lot, whoever is like listening to me, who in different ACCA offices, and from the comfort of your couch and sipping tea, you as well, and later on the guys who will be watching this video through stage, go stage. What's the webinar?
Go to stage.
Go to stage.
The video channel.
Yeah, video channel, go to stage, where you will find this video as well. I want you guys to think about starting your own business. We all are, mashallah. I was looking through with Harun Sahab, we were going through the portfolio of attendees. Mashallah, many of you are in managerial role, VPs and different sectors, PECRA and all, you just name it, from everywhere. So you are in employment and you are working there. We're very pleased to know. But the thing is, the horizon of entrepreneurship, this is very vast. So with this vision, we have designed this whole program of, here we see, there actually, ideally we will divide it into 3 sessions. If we needed more, we'll go into that as well. And we have divided into 3 areas, like planning your business, launching your business, and managing your business. The more integrity that is also mentioned about, in specific section, what we are really going to do is startup idea and research and all that, how to launch your program. That is a topic for another time. So this is just a brief introduction regarding this entrepreneurship program. Now, this buzzword, you and me, we all are hearing this word entrepreneur. Who really is an entrepreneur? An entrepreneur is a person. I mean, everyone can conceive from the words as well. The simplest way would be a person who is actually starts, organizes, manages an enterprise, and he is actually putting in a considerable amount of innovation into that, effort into that. That is the person known as entrepreneur. And who can be an entrepreneur? You can be an entrepreneur. I can be an entrepreneur. Every single person who has the capacity. There are actually 2 theories work regarding entrepreneurs. Either nurture the entrepreneurship, either it can be nurtured or it's by nature. And I will go with both. Anything that works for you, that is how you can understand that you got the ability to be an entrepreneur. We need to understand, there would be people, I wouldn't say this here in this attendance, who get ready for the job every single morning, right 7 a.m. They're getting ready for the job, and that is the absolute job. They're ready to quit at any time. They are ready to leave it, and they are willing to break those shackles and go away. For what? For a better future. But what is really holding us back is nobody else than ourselves. The biggest enemy we have, it's within us. It's inside us. It's me for myself, you for yourself. It's our inner talk that keeps us thinking about, नहीं जी मैं ये नहीं कर सकता, this is not for me, this is not my cup of tea. अगर मैं इस साइड पे चला जाऊंगा, what will happen to you? What will happen? In salary, you're earning a good sum of money, but that's a fixed amount. And in entrepreneurship, you have far more perspective of earning that specific number which you idealize, that this much is the number I think it should be coming in my bank account, it should be credited in my account every first of the month. You can achieve that and far more than that. But you have to have the will, you have to have the conviction in yourself. You know what? I want you to say a happy life. I want you to say yes to a happy life. I want you to say yes to all those feelings you're trying to find in yourself. It's all there. But the thing is, you need to have the conviction. Yes, I can do that. See, this is what we are talking about. You know, I know something about you with not even knowing you, that you guys have a lot of good potential, and you have all that skill set which is required to be an entrepreneur. This is there is no scarcity of opportunities. Who said that? That is Wayne Dyer. And who is he? He is a self-improvement writer, and he said there's no scarcity of opportunity. The only scarcity we have, that's the resolve. So what we have, the issue is all here. See, in our head, that we need to make a resolve that I want to be an entrepreneur. I want to achieve it. This is all inside you. I want to actually patronize this same theory with a research which was published in American Journal. There was a research conducted in a United States university somewhere in the United States, and the research was there were actually two control groups. There were one group who were doing a routinely exercise. There was a routine, they have to do physical exercise every single time they're going. For instance, you say like two hours in the morning and evening, they're doing a physical exercise. And in the control group, what they were doing, they were just sitting there and they were just visualizing that they are doing exercise, and they're just thinking about it and visualizing that their muscles are growing. And the results, they were very obvious. You know what? That group which was actually not doing the exercise physically, not involved in the exercise, just thinking from top of their head that yes, I'm working out, yes, I'm sweating, and my muscles are growing, and they literally got improvement in their muscles. But I have to say, there is a disclaimer in this research as well that these muscles are only biceps and triceps, not the belly fat. So this is something you have to understand, that it's all within our mind. We have to make our mind that I want to achieve this, and you can achieve it. See? What a great saying. The wealthiest place on this earth, it's not a gold mine, it's not a diamond mine even. The wealthiest place on earth, that is actually a graveyard. You know, Graveyard is a place where people, inventions, innovations that have been gone to grave without exposure to us. There are dreams and there are hopes that not has been acted upon. So I don't want you to sit on the couch and sit in your 50s and sipping great green tea and saying to your better half at that time, अच्छा होता कि अगर मैं उस टाइम अपना बिजनेस शुरू कर लेता. See, the moment is right now. This is your time. You can start your business. It's absolutely nothing out of this world. You have to just jot down and equip yourself with good tactics. There is also a study as well that 9 out of 10 startups are failing. What is the reason? The reason is people start doing business. They go into entrepreneurship with zeal, with all that effort. But where they are lacking, they are lacking actually the skills, the skill set, the research they need to do before going into business. So that is something where they are lacking. Would it play, Aruncha?
People not be able to see it. We'll try it.
Okay.
We'll try this one.
There's a video by Grasshopper. There's a, I would like to see here a bit of inspiration. So people, that was a bit of motivational clip. Yeah, we can see the thing is when we say an entrepreneurship, this will not be a bed of roses. There will be dark times. So you need to have a strong conviction, a passion, a drive force for going through those dark times. And you can only get through those times if you would have passionate enough for your purpose, for your enterprise, whatever you start, whichever sector you choose, it's solely dependent upon you. So the thing is that you need, when I say it wouldn't be smooth, it would be challenging, and you need to challenge yourself. And this is a natural phenomena. Whenever you try to grow, you face challenges. Whenever you try to go up, you will face challenges. All hell will break loose at that very moment. But the thing is, you have to have conviction. You have to believe in yourself that I can achieve it. I can pass through these times. This is nothing which I cannot pass through. See, this is something you need to understand very briefly. Like when we sit in the airplane, what do they say to us? What is the buzzword the air hostess say to us? That fasten your seatbelt. Why? We are going up, and while going up, you will face some tribulations, and those tribulations are the things you have to face. Once you face those, you will go up and you will achieve your goals. So, this is something you need to understand very clearly. See, this is the conviction in yourself, and for this conviction, Iqbal has said a very beautiful share. एंड दैट इज जब इस अंगारे खाकी में होता है यकीन पैदा अरुण साहब जब इस अंगारे खाकी में होता है यकीन पैदा तो कर लेता है ये बालों पर रूहुल अमी पैदा. So it's all in you. You got all those traits to be an entrepreneur. You can be one of them. You can join the ranks of entrepreneurs. But the thing is, the conviction should be with you. So here we come. If you think you have made up your mind that I want to start a business, that you can start a business by all means. You have to actually, there are a few steps we are going through as the agenda was communicated to you through the very first slide. There would be 3 different sessions with those specific aspects of the business. For today, as the time is very short, we will be just containing our whole briefing, our whole webinar to the conceptualization of idea, how to conceive an idea that is very beneficial for you, for your business, and how to actually create a best atmosphere for yourself and do a self-reckoning for your idea, that which idea is better for you, which business dimension you want to explore. So there is this phrase that we commonly heard, that ideas don't matter, execution does. How many of you believe in that? Well, okay, Mr. Fraser believes in that, and we have a few gentlemen. Execution does. And
Slight modification. Ideas matter, but execution matters more.
execution matters more. Very unfortunate that this is something that we're not going to go today. See, the thing is, world best entrepreneur would fail with a flawed startup idea.
Thank you.
See, this is something we need to get in our mind. If something, an idea, the very genome of the business is flawed, how good you are, how better you are at doing things, how better you are with dealing people, but that flawed up idea would make you fail. So the thing is, when you are conceiving an idea, you need to check through few nitty-gritties and details we are actually going through today.
Just a comment that a member online has made an interesting one, but exactly about execution and planning. He's saying execution. His name is Bilal Saeed. He's saying execution is the real thing. Only plan takes you nowhere till you execute it.
Absolutely, Bilal, we'll go for the execution as well. But for today, we are just sticking with the idea conception. So I'm really thankful you made that comment. And now, if we go, there are a few things for idea, as we are talking about the idea of the business, idea of a startup. When you're thinking about the idea, you need to be passionate about that specific business idea. Being passionate, money cannot be the substitute of your passion by all means. I mean, if you think money can be the substitute of your passion, absolutely not. If you're working for something, for some area, for some enterprise, and you think that this will earn me money, entrepreneurship will reward in terms of money, that is for sure. But the thing is, when you're starting up a business and you're just pursuing it for the sake of money, I would ask you to drop it now. Because the thing is, when you will get through, when there will be dark times, when there will be tough times, and if you are pursuing for the money, you will drop it there. So what's the point in starting a business if you cannot get through there in those dark times? See, Elon Musk, what he said about the entrepreneurship. He said, entrepreneurship is like eating glass and staring at the abyss of death. Entrepreneurship is like eating glass and staring at the abyss of death. This is how he has actually defined entrepreneurship. Now, we all know how successful he is. Tesla and all that, SpaceX, all these initiatives by that gentleman, and what he is saying about the entrepreneurship. So the thing is that whatever business you want to start, whatever idea you had in your mind, you need to check it for yourself. am I the one who will be pursuing this idea in next 5 to 10 or 15 years? If the answer is yes, I would say go ahead. See, this is something you need to check about your idea. Next thing about your idea of the business, it should be simple. You know, when we say, see, I have to start a business, and you are trying to address some problems, it shouldn't be something very complex. Most of the times it has been said, "Okay, think big." It's a very good thing. It's a very productive mantra for the entrepreneurs for thinking big, because the reason is the amount of effort, if you are putting in something as being less ambitious, it would be absolutely the same amount of effort you will be putting if you are being a lot more ambitious about your idea. So the thing is, think big, but don't confuse thinking big with something like you have to boil the ocean out from the outset. See, your idea, the problem you're trying to address, the gap you're trying to fill, it should be simple. Ideas are raised. Ideas are raised. They are not born. Facebook, all of us know that. And Mark Zuckerberg, he didn't came up with the idea that you know what, he woke up in the morning and said, no, what I have to do, I'm going to invent something. I have to start a social graph. This is not how Facebook was started. It was a utility for Harvard class where he was studying, and he was looking for a utility. He designed something to know who else are in the class. And later on, it was raised to some scale that it became Facebook. Every territory, every location where the access of internet is, every person is familiar with this word Facebook. So, my dear friends, my fellow members, you need to check your idea. It should be simple at the initial stage. You don't need to make it complex. And the next thing about it is that one revenue stream. Whatever the business idea you are planning, whatever the business you are planning to go ahead, it is said most of the time, the more revenue stream a business has, the more better it is. But at an initial stage, I would like to ask you, check, check your business idea, and it should have one revenue stream, and you need to be laser focused to that one revenue stream. That this revenue stream should be large enough to support your business. If this specific revenue stream out of your business is not large enough and you are pursuing it, you are wasting your time. Drop it right away and move ahead to any other business idea. So these are the few traits we are talking about that you need to do self reckoning of your business idea. As we said that we are planning to, as we said, we're planning to have, it's ambitious, and I like to be an ambitious person. We are planning to have 100 new startups out of you lot. Whoever is listening to us, we want you to take that plunge and break those shackles and, jump into the business. If you feel, if you think this is for you, go for that. And for that business, we want you to materialize. Before materializing your idea, we want you to understand what kind of business idea is good for you.
No, I just thought let's make this session a little more interactive.
Yeah, sure.
All right. So my gut feeling or immediate reaction to two statements that you made, that if you're in for money, you're not doing the right thing. Yeah. Number one. Number two, you're saying jump into it. Okay. If you're jumping into it and there's no guarantee for money in it, why would one?
Absolutely right. No one would actually do a startup without getting a reward in monetary terms. Monetary terms, when I said, if you're going in for the money, the thing is, if you're checking, self-assessing your idea, you needed to assess with the thing when there are two comparisons. One is that you're passionate about your idea. One is you're going in for the money. If you are going in for the money, is part and parcel of your enterprise. This is something for granted for sure. You're going to get money. यहाँ पे free सबिलिल्लाह तो हमने कोई काम करना कोई नहीं. So the thing is, it will be coming to you. But if you're not passionate about your business, and you know the days will come in entrepreneurship, it is sometimes, it's absolutely like the roller coaster ride. Sometimes you're up, sometimes you're down. So it's nothing guaranteed. But if you're not passionate about your idea, if you're not passionate about your enterprise, you are not going to get through those dark days. So the comparison we are trying to make is, you need to passionate more. You need to be more passionate about your idea instead of being more concerned about earning money. Money is coming by all means. Whatever you have, it will come to you.
Can we have a few questions from
Yeah,
Islamabad,
yeah, sure.
Karachi as well? I mean, the participants might want to ask us questions. Can you unmute Karachi and participants from Karachi, if you'd like to ask any question or any comment that you'd like to make?
Yes, sir. There is one friend here. He wants to ask some question. Speak loud.
Okay, sure.
You said that a person who wants to start a business should be passionate about
Little
the
louder.
business. Should be passionate about the business, and he should have good ideas. I want to ask where you see the capacity of a person starting a business. If a person have good ideas and he is passionate about his business, but his capacity is not cope up with the ideas, the strategy he had made, it is necessary to compare your capacity and your all knowledge, ability, and planning about your business. What is
Can
important?
you ask your question in Urdu? It will be more, we would understand it easily then.
I can Urdu for simplicity.
आप कह रहे हैं कि कोई भी बंदा हो जो पैशनेट हो अपने बिजनेस के हवाले से और उसके आइडियाज जो हैं वो मतलब के अच्छे हों, ठीक है? तो मैं कह रहा हूँ अगर बंदे की अपनी जो एबिलिटी है, जो उसकी कैपेसिटी है, उसको आप किस अंदाज से देखें, उसकी क्या इंपॉर्टेंस है इस मतलब के बिजनेस के शुरू करने में, उसके हवाले से आप
People's ability.
You know, abilities, the only, it's not the complete list. There are a few bits and pieces which will be coming later stage, but right now we have discussed 2-3 points about that. I would say the first characteristics that is required is you should be passionate about your idea. Another thing is your ability, what you can do. An entrepreneur is not like to be a jack of all. He can actually outsource other sections of the business to relevant individuals who have the expertise of doing that job more better than himself. Like all these entrepreneurs we see, they are not doing everything by themselves. They are actually, they have conceptualized the idea, then they have assembled the resources in terms of financially, in terms of human resource, and all that, which location you're going to start your business. That comes on the later stage. And if you, the only thing which I'm asking right now is whatever your idea is, you just judge yourself. Either you are passionate about carrying that idea in next 5 to 15 years. If the answer is yes, I would say, okay, fine, bear with me. There are a few other characteristics we're actually going through in a later stage. And if you still say that, you know what, I'm actually passing all these checks and I have self-reckoned myself and I feel that I can go with this specific idea and that fits in all those characteristics, I would say, okay, fine, go ahead. And there are furthermore things which I have mentioned before as well. Please, which I have mentioned before as well, that we'll be going through a later stage. There would be a series of webinars or face-to-face sessions in coming weeks. The dates would be circulated to you through an email, and you could sign up.
Not webinars, actually.
Face-to-face sessions. The reason we have designed this whole presentation and whole exercise for this kind of course is that we want you to enable if you have any idea, if you want to do a startup, every single bit of starting a business, from smallest to bigger thing, from raising funds for your business to finding an office, everything will be addressed in this whole series of face-to-face sessions. So bear with me.
Okay. Can we try Islamabad as well?
Yeah, sure,
Some
sure,
questions
sure.
from Islamabad, we are participants. Yeah, sure. Okay, Islamabad, you are unmuted. If you both the participants here, you want to ask any question or a comment to make? आप दोनों करीब आ जाएं, we can't see your faces actually. If you can come closer to the camera, is that possible? मेरी आगे आ जाइए और अगर कोई क्वेश्चन या कमेंट है तो बता दें, फिर we can continue with our session. Excellent, thank you very much. Any comment or questions so far?
We just have a small comment about the presentation itself, actually.
Please go on.
Yeah, actually, I mean, I think that it's more of a general presentation instead of any specific thing. Like, it can be more productive if we can discuss some specific businesses that a person can start instead of having a general idea of doing a business. So what are the fields that we can explore in Pakistan, or like if it is like what things we can export or import from Pakistan? So that this is what I think. Like if we can be more specific about the type of business, whether it is importing something or exporting something, because we like in Pakistan we have this import and export imbalance. So like I sometimes think of importing some products from other countries, but that could actually lead to that could more imbalance the import and export ratio in Pakistan. But if we can explore any ideas of exporting things from Pakistan, it can increase the foreign revenue, foreign reserve in Pakistan. It will help the economy as well, and it will help the person who's doing the business. So this is what is going through in my mind right now.
I'm really grateful for your question. The thing is, referring you to specific sector and asking you to do that specific business or venture is something we are actually trying to pep talk. We are trying to feed you. We don't want to feed you. We want you to analyze yourself. This is what we are trying to achieve from here is that you have to do the brainstorming. You have to ask yourself. It's not me कि जी Zishan Razak is standing there and he should say to you कि नहीं जी आजकल तो stocks के अंदर बड़ा अच्छा काम हो रहा है. That could be a something out of the ambit. As a personalized opinion, you can ask me, you can email me, we can talk about that. But this session, uh, we are actually trying to make it more productive in terms of evaluating your idea. Anybody can have any idea. You can have idea of import and export. I know certain individuals who are exporting gold jewelry to UK and USA. Anything can happen. But the thing is, we are over here general characteristics of evaluation of your idea. This is what we are trying to achieve. So if
And as a part of this exercise also, there are sessions in it in which we will sort of ask you to brainstorm
yeah,
and come back with ideas, maybe stand in front of the camera, make a small presentation, this is what the idea is, and for other people to crash out that idea and ask questions.
that's what we are going to ask you. We are going to give you 10 minutes at the end of my presentation, and we'll ask you to brainstorm. And it's not just exchange of pleasantries. It's something you need to do over here as well.
Okay. I think we've got an idea. Yes,
If
Sambal want to say something again?
can we move
Yeah.
the question answer then? Yeah. No, once.
Move on to the
Yeah.
Okay, thank you.
I have a question, sir. Can you hear me? Hello?
Yeah.
Yes, we can hear you. Karan.
So that problem we face for any startup is basically the funding. can you suggest some platform for us for capital or initial funding that an entrepreneur can get easily? Because I feel everyone has an idea, but they where they stuck up is the capital and funding issue. Can you suggest some channels or platforms from where they can raise a different type of funds for their initial startups?
I got your point, my dear friend, and all of the audience who is listening to me. I want to crush this perception that if you don't have funding, if you don't have money, you cannot start your enterprise. I'm not a person who is in favor of that. Yes, we will discuss the platforms where you can raise the funding. The, there are different kind. This is the whole topic we will discuss in our very first session. If I just bring out this our agenda, you know, calculate your startup cost and fund your business. This is something we are going to discuss in detail. That's why I'm just trying to contain this whole presentation towards just the idea. The basic thing of startup is idea. If you have some idea, you need to evaluate your idea. This is what we are trying to achieve from today's presentation is evaluation of your idea, how good your idea is, and how good you are to go for that specific business. This is what you need to know before making some money out of it. So we will discuss in detail about the funding platforms and all these relevant questions. It will be addressed. And as one of us said, this is a general presentation. I would say please stick with this general presentation for the time being, and we'll go in detail on the later stage. Okay. So now coming back to the topic, this fourth thing I want you to check with your idea is how many steps are involved for getting a rupee out of your business. See, you need to check your business idea, the venture you are trying to start, how many steps you need, how many steps you have to go through for making a rupee for yourself. See, for instance, someone who is actually collecting a data and then he's giving that data to an advertiser is giving that data to the end user, then the money is coming to you. So you need to check how many steps are involved in generating revenue. Ideally, it should be to 3 steps. Maximum, there should be 3 steps involved. For instance, as an accountant, we say we are making money from providing professional services. These are the 2 steps. Customer come to us, we provide services to them, and then the invoice is encashed in our accounts. So there should be ideally 3 steps involved. Whatever kind of business you are trying to start, there should be not more than 3 steps. Then it is fine. Go ahead with that specific idea. The next thing I want you to understand about your idea is you need to understand, to have a complete understanding of your customers. What kind of customers you are going to have, what kind of product you are going to develop, what kind of services you are going to render, whom you are helping, and what is the gap you are going to fulfill. How, and you need to know your customers, how they are willing to solve their problem. Either they are interested in that specific solution you are trying to provide them through your enterprise. You need to understand who your customers are. Most of the mistake is when we are discussing about the businesses, what you're doing is I'm providing these services to this kind of individuals, but that is very superficial information. You need to understand whom you are actually rendering services. For instance, I'm going to quote an example to you. For example, many people will stop and I'm helping. This is an example. I'm helping large companies to hire. What he said? I'm helping large companies to hire. But in reality, they need to be able to say something like, I am helping senior hiring managers at enterprise software companies in United States with 400 to 800 employees. See, this much details. You need to understand whom you are serving, whom you are addressing. You need to understand your customer, the class of customers whom your product will be serving. So this is something before going into and developing and putting in some effort of your business, you need to understand the class of customers and whom you're going to serve. You need to know your market. If you don't know your market, this is the right time. You should start understanding your market, what kind of market you are targeting. For instance, if it has been said by successful entrepreneurs, bare minimum, you should have spent minimum 10,000 hours. How much? 10,000 hours understanding that specific market. These 10,000 hours, they can be included in terms of if you had, you were working in that specific niche and now you have thought that, I want to start my own business. That is good, go for that. This is the bare minimum effort you have to put in your uh, target market, understanding your market. So if you say you are not expert on your market, where you are going to serve, where you are going to float your business product, then I would say this is the time to get to the work. Go and indulge yourself in that specific market. See, the next thing which we want to understand is that whichever market you are deciding to target, it should be large enough. When we say large enough, how much large enough? This market bare minimum, that specific segment of people who are in that market, you should have clientele of bare minimum, like 10 million people in that specific sector. This is the bare minimum thing if you are targeting a new enterprise.
That's more than the size of many countries in the world.
Yeah, true. That's the thing. If you are actually going to target a small market, you are going to die in a graveyard. Your business is not going to be successful. So once you're putting an effort in your idea, so your idea should be something which is addressing it's a fact. Large and fast growing markets have the power to pull mediocre companies and convert them into successful companies. If your market where you are going to work, it's a large market, when we say characteristics of large market, the 10 million people and the large market, that has the potential. If your company is not very good, if you see that your company is mediocre, and that market can develop your business into a successful business. And conversely, a dying market, you're targeting a specific niche of people, specific market which is not big enough and it's not rapidly growing. What you're going to do, they are actually going to take down the solid companies. So these are the chances you have to calculate before going into any enterprise. If you think your idea is, addressing a small sector, a small, and that market which you are going to operate is not rapidly growing, then you need to think about your idea. That where am I actually going to invest my time, my all the money, and all the passion? See, so these are the few things you have to understand. Next thing is original secret sauce. What is original secret sauce? I'm not asking you to churn out something which has never happened before, or offer something which is not common. What I'm asking you from this point is, whatever your idea is, it should be addressing specific sector. you know the fact is every company starts out with that secret sauce. That is not very correct. Every company which is starting, they are not starting with the secret sauce. They are actually helping the existing market. They are trying to differentiate the level of services. You can differentiate on a later stage, but first you need to understand you must have something different which is your business is offering and not others are offering. For example, if we say the company Zeppo, that is a company in USA, and they are actually online retailer for shoes and clothing range. This is what they are selling. So what the founder of that company, and the name of the guy is Tony Sai, what he observed is that this online market, that is fine, there is no problem with the retail of this specific sector. The issue is with the customer service. There are many players in online marketing, like online stores and e-commerce sites, which are providing the same kind of services, same kind of products. But the issue is where he spotted that the issue is with the customer service. So this is something, a kind of secret sauce for your idea. If you are going to start a business, you must evaluate that, I should have something better, I should have leverage of something upon other competitors or other individuals who are serving in the same market. So this is one thing more about your idea. And this is a very beautiful thing. You try to kill your idea. This is I want you to do. First, when you're conceiving an idea, it is good thing. किसी को भी अपना बच्चा बुरा नहीं लगता. My baby is beautiful and mashallah, this is this and that. उसकी खूबसूरती और तारीफ सारी चीजें चलती रहेंगी. It's very easy, it is very convenient to have kind of positive reinforcement. It is very easy for every person. But the hard thing is, when someone, you need to find someone who can actually tell you this is something wrong in your idea, this is something you need to work on. And what you have to do after listening that feedback, it's not something that you actually demotivate yourself and go to the ground. It is you have to repeat the whole exercise and eliminate those negative impacts or elements of your idea, and improve your business idea. This is something you need to do. And there is a last thing I want you to tell, and that is very important. Unfortunately, we feel like if I share my idea, somebody will steal it. Trust me, trust me. I'll say, please share your idea. There are very slim chances that any of us, whatever we are doing, we drop it and going to devote our life for your idea. The chances are very slim. In fact, near to zero. But the benefit you will get from sharing your idea is you will get the feedback. It has been normal practice in most of the incubation centers, and when we say, for instance, we say that Silicon Valley, there's not a single working night when there is no event regarding the startups sales page. When you tell your idea, when you share it with other people, they give you feedback. And once they give you feedback, what really going to happen is that you are going to improve your business. You are going to improve your initial stage execution of your idea. So this is something I would like to urge you all. ये हमारे मुआशरे में एक बड़ा मसला है कि इस लिहाज से हम काफ़ी ज़्यादा कंजर्व रहते हैं, that we are not going to share कि कोई चोरी ना कर ले, ये जी शायद कोई चोरी हो जाएगी. It's a good thing to share it and learn from the experience of other. And someone Howard, what he said, he don't worry about people stealing an idea. If it's an original, you will have to ram it down their throats. You will get it done and you will achieve. If your idea is original, don't you worry about it. Somebody is going to steal it. So this is something about the whole idea and the criteria regarding the conception of your idea, how to conceptualize your idea of starting a new business. So in this regard, what we have probably done. So this is something about the starting. If you are going to have a new startup and you got an idea how to do a reckoning of your idea, and yeah, there is something actually. And now, all my friends, I want you to take 5 minutes, and I'm just starting my clock right here, right now. This takes 5 minutes, and if you have an idea, please do a kind of evaluation in these 5 minutes about all these characteristics and say, let's see what comes out. But when we have next session, I would really want you, whoever is going to join in our detailed session, that will be like 4-5 hour session. In that session, I want you to have your own idea. What we really want to achieve over here is we want you to take you along on all these stages, that how to develop a new enterprise, how to come into the cadre of entrepreneurs. So this is something I would like to see every station. Yeah, it's not about only Lahore for the 5 minutes.
Chicken.
Arun sir has got
Egg and chicken.
No, I think um, I think we need to start a discussion here, and respectively in all the other offices also, a discussion to continue based on the information shared with us. I think it's very important for once again for us to, if we have an idea in mind, take it through this entire process. Something which is said about startups is that the idea has to be the most simple idea in the world and something which comes from your daily life. So if you look at some successes, I mean, let's look at some successful startups in Pakistan. Uh, Whenever we say startups, we talk about Kareem. Yeah. So where did the idea emerge? Taxi. Everybody uses it. Everybody needs a ride. It's as simple as that. Any other interesting startup?
Stars Play, like Stars Play, it's by Cinepex, and the same idea was actually in place, and the competitors are there, Netflix and all other service provided, iFlix and Amazon. These are the service providers. These are the people. They were there. Then they have started the same thing over here in Pakistan. So we are not asking you to reinvent a wheel or go somewhere कि जी कोई उत्थे काम नहीं कर रहे and you have started doing something strange. You can actually there is an edge over there as well.
Right. Other ideas. The government is talking about, I mean, other than chicken and eggs, the government is talking about agriculture with limited resources, limited water, for example. They're saying in the canal system here, a lot of water goes waste. So they are now encouraging the dripping technology, drip irrigation. Is that a brilliant idea that we can start working with? Yeah. ACCA has been propagating, the expertise that all of us sitting here have. So shared services or exporting services as an idea. Right? So a lot of discussion happening at a very high level of that this is one domain in which Pakistan can bring in a lot of investment. And yesterday I was in a call with my global counterparts at ACCA, and we were discussing that is there a way that we can connect all our members with brilliant ideas across the world, or businesses across the world, from which they can leverage, through the network. I'll give you one example, very simple example. A member from Hong Kong got in touch with a member in Pakistan, and they both decided to write a book. Yeah, a very small book, or I think uska naam tha. Do you remember the name?
Yeah, Mr.
Malik Mirza. Yes. This book got funding from United Nations because it was about investments and it was about inculcating the habit of savings within children. Picked up by UNICEF and Oxford Press, sort of sponsored it and published it. They went around. I mean, the book got released, launched events यहाँ पे भी हुए in other parts of the world also. So that's how two people from two different parts of the world who never met before got in contact with each other, and then came up with this idea, and then they went out and came up with something interesting, good. Of course उसमें revenue का element भी था, of course उसमें profits भी थे, etc. But this is how. So what we were discussing the other day was कि हम इस तरह के sporadic एक दो instances तो होते हैं, but how can we sort of bring the entire network together and see how we can make use of each other's ideas. So for example, ACCA is an accounting body with 12,000 practices around the world. 12,000. And in terms of number of practices, ACCA is the biggest. Pakistan has a huge dividend. Is there a way that some of the work that is, of course, labor is expensive in the UK and other parts of the world also. Is there a way that we can bring down business from these 12,000 practices into Pakistan, right? And in our backyard have a small team of accountants sitting there and churning out shared services. The concept of shared services or bookkeeping outsourcing. So those are the kind of things that one can start imagining about. I've just seeded some ideas. Okay. I'm sure all the people sitting here, you would have come across various other ideas also, but genuine ideas. So the floor is open for discussion.
जैसे आपने बात की पानी की स्केर्सिटी के ऊपर और ड्रिप इरिगेशन का जिक्र आया। आज सुबह की मीटिंग थी मेरे ऑफिस में।
थोड़ा सा ऊंचा अगर हम बोल रहे हैं और आप आगे आ जाए बिकॉज़ हमें बाकी भी
बात कर रहा हूँ।
आज हमने इसी आइडिया पे डिस्कस किया कि पाकिस्तान में पानी के लिए जो ड्रिप इरिगेशन पाकिस्तानी को स्पेशली पंजाब गवर्नमेंट इज इंसिस्टिंग द गवर्नमेंट, तो ड्रिप इरिगेशन का जब सिस्टम इंस्टॉल होगा उसके लिए आपको सिस्टम चाहिए, तो सिस्टम बनाने के लिए फिर उसको रॉ मटेरियल्स चाहिए। आई बिलोंग्स टू स्पेक्ट्रा पेट्रोकेमिकल, हम केमिकल्स में डील करते हैं, तो हमने एक क्योंकि वो रेजन एक प्रोडक्ट है जिससे ये प्लास्टिक की पाइपिंग और इस तरह की चीजें, हम उसके इंपोर्टर हैं और कुछ और केमिकल्स के जो इन प्लास्टिक चीजों में डलते हैं। तो हमने अब वो एक प्लांट इधर लगाने का आज हम डिसाइड सोच रहे थे, अभी प्लान कर रहे थे, इसलिए कि ये एक नई मार्केट बनने वाली है, तो हम उसके ऊपर काम करें, उसके लिए अभी से वर्किंग स्टार्ट करें ताकि इंटायरली जो पाइप मैन्युफैक्चर हैं, जो नोजल मैन्युफैक्चर हैं, जो शॉप मैन्युफैक्चर हैं, उनको प्रोडक्ट सप्लाई कर सकें ताकि वो बनाए उनको मार्केट में।
So I think important message from this is that if you see a trend picking up, if you see an opportunity being created, I mean, you need to immediately get into action. I mean, start thinking about the entire supply chain of that entire process, right? So where is the equipment going to come from? What is the cost? Where is the water going to come from? Which are the most ideal places from where such farming can be done, etc. I think the Prime Minister also talked about prawns की farming,
shrimps farming,
in shrimps and prawns
in those damp areas
in
southern Punjab,
जहाँ पे water table high है जिन areas में, जो same और thor वाले areas हैं, salinity का issue है जहाँ पर, वहाँ पर shrimps और I think it's shrimps and prawns.
Shrimps and
anyway, so
people have already started. I know.
Somebody is talking about olives की farming. Fatehgarh. They can more start where, but just again sporadic, just a couple of instances. So I think the ideas are coming in.
Agriculture, it's a big
Yes, it is.
sector.
Rabbit farming, we currently know
Rabbit,
chicken pouring,
deer,
Ostrich farming. See, Mr. Prime Minister, we are working on that.
Okay, sorry, Karachi wanted to say something. We have somebody in Karachi to. Can you put the camera back on? Yes, Karachi, please go on.
Just to focus on
Hello, Zishan and everyone. I would just like to share an idea or my approach or my thinking regarding the idea generating for these startups. That is, we have a global outreach nowadays. Okay, it is the era of app and IoTs, and everyone is making their startups through internets. Okay, so our markets are not just local markets, but they are global markets. Okay, our idea should not be based and focused on Pakistan or not on the South Asia or Asia, but our ideas should cater a global issue. For example, I would like to address a recent regarding the recent interview which I read of a local food delivery startup, Eid Mubarak. Its CEO was saying that our vision is to cater the global halal food delivery market. Okay, so none of the food delivery startups globally are catering the halal food delivery markets. Although they just recently started from Pakistan, but they have having a plans to go global. So connecting to that example, I would like to address my fellow members and the ACC colleagues that our ideas should based on the global thinking, the global problems, global issues, and we can generate anything around that. We should focus on several sectors, and on that sectors we can generate several ideas. For example, there's a scarcity of water right now, and water is a global issue. So our idea could generate any of the problem, any of addressing any of the problem related to water, or regarding the cleanliness, or regarding the hygiene, and and ideas can also be generated on these resources which are widely available in our country. For example, agriculture. Our country is agriculture based, and regarding the poultry, livestock, and lots and lots of other things. If we want to see around us, so we have many platforms and areas for that we can generate an ideas.
Yeah, very well said. Very well said. That we don't have to contain ourselves with the local market. It's not about we are addressing the needs of Pakistan. Nowadays, it's all global. You're sitting in Pakistan and you can have a customer service kind of thing in USA, and you can get the local landline number. It's all global. By all means, you can advertise your business globally while sitting over here. So very well said, the gentleman in the ACC Karachi, and that's something we need to consider as well. When we're considering the market to whom we are going to target, we need to understand.
Yes, so you want to say?
Yeah. I'll just share a few things, just trying to bring us out of the agriculture, although that is a very important area, to focus more on what's relevant to us. The gentleman from Islamabad, he didn't tell his name, so I'll just be referring to you like that. Did raise a very important point that we also have to focus on our economic situation as well. Look, there are so many ideas that we can do, but we have to run them down through the process. Many of the key steps were already shared by Zishan Saab. So, for example, just like Harun shared, I remember having this conversation with Harun and Saeed, and we proposed something that is still in the pipeline. But since we are discussing ideas, I'll just put this out there. For example, what if ACCA creates a platform like freelancer.com type that is very ACCA specific, and we get all the ACCA members. We have the database, we have the strength, we advertise that on the ACCA platform, we advertise the ACCA's checks and balances and the quality control. We can also perhaps rope in some extra disciplinary procedures if need be, and then we advertise that to have the other side coming in as well. I believe this can be a one big platform with areas centered on regions or countries, and that can be a very good idea to bridge the gap with regard to shared services. We have destinations in the West which have a lot of the work. We have work in countries like Pakistan where we have talented people who can do the same work at a fraction of a cost, owing to the currency differences and all that, and it's a win-win situation. So ideas like these. So if members can contribute on these lines, I mean, I'm all for chicken farming and everything else, but then focus on the areas we can contribute as qualified accountants. So perhaps if you want to talk about the farming, you can talk about how you want to address the finance professionals' role and the possibilities that could arise out of ventures. By all means, you can do that business if you want to, but I would be more interested in listening to ideas where you can capitalize on your own abilities as well. Your strength. We being accountants have the strength of the financial sector. We are ACCA used the term finance professional instead of the accountant. So I've just given you one idea. having something like freelancer.com for shared services, hopefully having it from the ACCS platform. ACCA being the global body, there are so many factors to look at. So these things are still in the pipeline, but perhaps on the lines of these ideas, you can share some ideas. And I would very much like the gentleman in Islamabad, I was enjoying his contribution. So if he can share some ideas about this, what do you think about that? And maybe some contribution from Karachi, followed by Lahore, which has the largest number but the most quiet audience. So if you guys in Islamabad can start that.
An idea specific to what you've discussed or something else?
Yeah, two things. If you have any idea, you can share that. Secondly, I've just put forward something, a food for thought, that why not we focus on ideas which capitalize on our strengths and focus more on that. We as finance professionals enjoy a unique skill set. For example, for this shared services thing, we have discussed that we have example of our neighboring country, India. Till 1992, Pakistan's economy, in terms of GDP and growth, was surpassing India in all ways. Then they focused on IT sector, IT shared services, and they really groomed that sector. And I'm sure many of you would know in India, people would be sitting in shanty towns and one room, small rooms, and they would be taking business from big to conglomerates and all that. And look where India is. Obviously, that was the major engine that drove the growth, and then it expanded into many different other sectors as well. So perhaps we can do something like this with regard to the finance sector. The world definitely needs it. Pakistan can be a very good country. We have the resources, we have the skill set, we are following the global standards. By virtue of having ACCA, we have a global, unique, equitable level of expertise as well. Multinationals are operating here as well, so it's not like we would be having a situation where we'll be have to fill up the gap on the resource side. Now, the second factor would be getting the business, the perception issue and all that. So if we can work on some platform like we shared about ACCS shared services thing, that can possibly address that. So what do you think about this idea and any other ideas you gentlemen may have?
Yeah, actually, recently there has been discussion about halal meat in West and in America. Like it's a growing business there. So what the Prime Minister discussed recently about exporting halal meat from Pakistan, like we should grow that sector. I mean, currently in Pakistan, like everyone is thinking of importing things from the neighboring countries and like having a distribution in Pakistan. But actually, there are very few people who are thinking about exporting things from Pakistan to other countries. So one of the things that like we can work, but I don't know like what are the market conditions or what are the barriers to enter that market and what are the conditions that we have to face to like sustain in that market, because it's like very risky. With livestock, it's always very risky. So that's one thing about livestock. The other idea that I think is like producing some arts and crafts of Pakistan. Like if people can think about investing in that sector. But like to enter a market globally, you have to first overcome your own, like your local market, your national market. So you have to be at the top at your national level if you have to enter a global market. So it takes time. I don't know. I mean, how many years? But it's not gonna happen in maybe 2-3 years or something like that. So there are some barriers that we have to think about, and then there would be some critical analysis of the market situation and all that. So I have these two ideas, but it's just an idea actually, and I haven't worked on the market or the competitors or anything else.
What's your name?
Mohsin.
Mohsin sir, that's and I think that's the way to do it. Obviously, you start with the idea and you try to work on the market barriers to entry and everything. But I really like the way you are thinking. So your colleague there, actually, you two are very precious. You are the only participants in person from Islamabad. So if your colleague there might want to contribute something by first sharing his good name and where he's working.
My name is Fahad और मेरा जो आइडिया है वो ये है कि आज जो है यहाँ पे अगर हम प्राइवेट से कंपेयर करें तो यहाँ पे बिजनेस करने के लिए हमारे पास लीगल रिक्वायरमेंट बहुत कम है अगर आप बाहर जाकर बिजनेस करें बाहर से होके आया हूँ मैं देख के आया हूँ कि वहाँ की लीगल रिक्वायरमेंट और हर चीज बहुत स्ट्रिक्ट है एज कम्पेयर टू पाकिस्तान आप यहाँ पे इजीली बिजनेस कर सकते हो सेकेंडली यहाँ पे लेबर बहुत चीप है आप यहाँ पे अगर कोई प्रोडक्शन की तरफ जाओ तो आप अच्छा खासा मतलब पहले आप अपने आप को यहाँ पे सेटल करो देन यू कैन गो इंटरनेशनली कि आप उसको फिर आप बाहर लेके जाओ बट द फर्स्ट थिंग इज कि जो मोहसिन साहब ने कही कि यहाँ पे हमें अपने आप को पहले डेवलप करना चाहिए नेशनल लेवल
I totally agree. You have to start with national. So I'll ask you one question, Mohsin. ACCA is holding some conferences on CPEC. I'll be honored to be participating in them later this month. In my interaction with the Chinese counterparts, I found 2-3 things. Number one, their labor is still competitive, although slightly more expensive than Pakistan, but overall they are still cheaper. Their electricity is so much cheaper. So how do you think if we have industrial units, how would we be able to compete with China, especially when we have WTO agreements, we have CPEC going on? I mean, one way would certainly be these special economic zones that would now be built in key cities like Faisalabad, Multan, all these areas. And there would be, as per my knowledge till now, shared ownership, part Chinese ownership, part Pakistani. So that could be a good mechanism, like as the Chinese premier, and this is an information for everyone, the Chinese premier recently, just a couple of months or so back, has shared that they now want to move their economy from manufacturing to high tech, just following in the footsteps of the American model. So they would probably be looking to outsource these manufacturing concerns. So I can see a potential there, but then the biggest question would be how to partner that. The starting point could be perhaps the special economic zones, right?
I will also like to make a comment about this illusion of the labor cost being cheaper in Pakistan. Yes, in terms of the payout, it might be cheaper, but in terms of capability, efficiency, value for money, I think Chinese have really, sort of left us out of their projects just because of the issues that Pakistani labor bring with them to the world. Yeah, so I think skilled labor in Pakistan is definitely a big gap. One idea could be producing skilled labor. So if there's so many businesses coming in, can't somebody think about producing skilled labor for the type of businesses that are going to
Why don't we take some feedback from Lahore participants on this?
Yeah, we have 2 individuals who are.
There is one more thing. मैं जो बताना चाहता हूँ
Why don't you share your opinion?
सामा आगे आज थोड़ा सा ताकि इस्लामाबाद कराची वालों को what about if we put a chair here
And whoever wants to speak can come in the spotlight.
Yeah.
It will probably all
Level spot. There you go. That's all.
there is one more thing जो हमें करना चाहिए वो ये कि आइडिया तो जनरेट कर लेते हैं हर बंदा आइडिया जनरेट तो कर लेता है लेकिन सबसे बड़ी बात है इम्प्लीमेंटेशन के लिए उसको छोटा प्रोटोटाइप एज पर माय एक्सपीरियंस छोटा प्रोटोटाइप उसको जरूर रन करना चाहिए पायलट वन चाहे खुद पैसे लगाए या जैसे भी करे चाहे फ्री ऑफ कॉस्ट करे लेकिन पायलट जरूर रन करे क्योंकि उसमें उसको पता चल जाता है कि आपके क्या बैरियर्स हैं ऑटोमेटिकली व्हेन दूसरे कोई आपसे क्वेश्चन पूछता है तो वो आपको 10 चीजें भी बता देता है उस पर कि ये कैसे होगा तो आप उसके बारे में सोच रहे होते हैं तो ऑटोमेटिकली आंसर्स जो है वो आपके पास ऑटोमेटिकली आ जाते हैं तो पायलट रन करने का भी एक जरूरत है The strategy
That's a
ideas
very
are
good point, Osama.
Osama is
And
actually.
who was the second one who wanted?
Yeah, I'd like to respond to the Omar Saab's comment. He was talking about CPEC. Actually, if you go
Your good name.
Omar Farooq, sorry. Okay, if you go a bit probably in 2000s or 90s, the Japanese were originally making the smaller things and the high tech. Okay, and the Chinese, they obviously they were doing stuff. And then the Japanese they moved on to high tech and very big companies, but they outsourced, or probably the Chinese they overtook the small ones. Okay, and now if we see the trend, the Chinese are going upwards, they are going to high tech, and Pakistan is again coming back with a smaller one. If you go to this Firozpur and probably in Multan, yes, in Multan, the backward areas of Multan, you will be seeing that people from abroad they have come back to Pakistan and they are using this solar power systems to generate the industrial units, and they are actually investing in the industrial units. And there's a concept named net metering. Okay, so you can actually earn from it. It's up to the 1 megawatt of electricity. You can give 1 megawatt back to the grid.
Sell it to the
So that's saving also. Obviously, it does require a financial outlay, but probably it's a point thing.
Thank you much. That's a
So,
very good point.
I
Would you like to add something more?
Yeah, I was actually thinking about the agriculture stuff. In Turkey, they have a startup named Tarfin. What they do, Tarfin. What they do is that you don't have to pay for the fertilizer till you harvest. Once you go with the harvest, you have to pay them the additional amount. Probably if fertilizer sack is of 100 rupees, you have to pay them 110 or 115, not too much. It's just a 10 or 15% premium, but probably that's a very good idea which can be implemented here, because in Pakistan I am currently working with a fertilizer company, so I can easily say that it's a $1 billion plus economy for fertilizer, minimum with production and probably more with when we are reporting. So it can be an opportunity as well.
I would like to interject in this thing. Currently what's really happening, as I'm actually basically from this agriculture side and belong to southern Punjab, this tarfin thing is happening in Pakistan
From many years.
from many years. The thing is, these fertilizers
or
fertilizer.
registered at the microfinance stuff.
The fertilizer provider, the dealers who are actually dealing with the fertilizers thing, what they do, they loan the fertilizers to the farmers. And the thing is, if it is 1800 rupees per sack of 50 kg of fertilizers, they are charging them a humongous amount of like 2500 rupees per bag. 600 margin on one sack. So this is the things are happening, but what we really need to do is
what they are doing is that they are removing their intermediaries because they are charging too much to the farmer.
yeah, and they are very much native
And it's highly automated. Everything is digitized. You are connected to the national database, so your credit scoring is also being done.
Okay, good.
So everything is
Yeah,
getting
the
stored
things
in
can be
the
done. Absolutely. The farmers, as we are, mashallah, talking about the agriculture so much, the farmers are the sufferers. The tomato, यहाँ पे 30 रुपए 40 रुपए किलो 50 रुपए किलो. When they reap this whole thing, how much they are selling? They are selling a 5 kg bag for 10 rupees. Can you consider it? 5 kg bag of tomatoes for 10 rupees. This is how much they are being suffering from this thing. So we can actually, the lack of connectivity is there. If we put in something in place for farmers, it is going to be like something skyrocketed thing. A gentleman want to say something?
I'm just agreeing with you.
Oh, thank you, please.
Sorry, by the way, ladies and gentlemen, if the refreshments available, since we are running over time, by all means, go pick up a bite and bring it back, since the discussion now becoming engrossing. So by all means, and we would definitely like to do ladies sitting here about some initiative.
Yeah, because we are not talking about tourism and recreational, because it's very less in Pakistan. So we can do something like, I've seen there is yoga retreats So it's for like we have very good places in northern areas. So we can have something like we can call people from abroad. So they'll pay for like we can even get like because I visited Hunza recently. So we have a lot of like they can easily give juices and we have a lot of local products. What happens is that they provide you foods which are like healthy, but for us it's like cheaper to have organic food and these things. This is something we can do here.
That's a good idea.
That's very well said.
And our MLP?
I am out of ideas actually.
Exhausted.
So let's go to Karachi then. We should have from the city of business some meaningful
Let's see.
inputs.
And refreshments as well.
Gentlemen, please help yourself.
So guys from Karachi, anything you would like to contribute? Any ideas you want to put forward? I hope you were able to listen to our conversation.
सर मैं आइडियाज के ऊपर बात कर रहा हूँ कि आइडियाज कैसे हैं जैसे कि हम
आपके लिए अपना नाम बताते जाएं और कहाँ काम कर रहे हैं ताकि we all know each other. Whoever is speaking.
अपना नाम बताएं और देन अपने पॉइंट ऑफ शेयर करें.
मेरा नाम मोहम्मद असलम है और मैं जयपुर से हूँ. तो मैं ये कहना चाह रहा हूँ कि हम आइडियाज पे आज बात हो रही है तो मैं कह रहा हूँ आइडियाज किस तरह आते हैं किस तरह में एक पर्टिकुलर मतलब सेक्टर एग्रीकल्चर को सिर्फ मतलब के लेके बताता हूँ उसमें हमें किस तरह के कितने आइडियाज आ सकते हैं और जैसे कि जुनेद शख्स साहब ने कहा कि एज अकाउंटेंट हम किस तरह मतलब के कोई ऐसा आइडिया या स्टार्टअप यूज कर सकते हैं कि जो हमारी अपनी कैपेबिलिटी को जो है ना वो कैपिटलाइज करे. इस तरह से मतलब कि हमारे कंट्री जो है एग्रीकल्चर कंट्री और हमारी इकोनॉमी का जो ज्यादातर मतलब वो है वो उसी पे नजर करता है और हमारे फार्मर्स जो है वो हमारी फार्मिंग जो है वो लेवल तक नहीं गई है जैसे दूसरे मुल्कों में कनाडा में या अमेरिका यूके वगैरह में हमारे फार्मर सिर्फ चीजें प्रोड्यूस करने में मतलब कि वो वही सिर्फ चावल उगाते हैं गंदम उगाते हैं फार्मिंग में और भी चीजें आती हैं जिस तरह आस्ट्रिक फार्मिंग होती है और गोश्त एक्सपोर्ट होता है तो चीजें होती हैं और उनको जो मसाले और जैसे प्रेजेंट साहब ने बताया कि मतलब कि जो है आप नीड्स को आइडेंटिफाई करें और फिर अपने स्टार्टअप को उस हिसाब से सोचें. इस तरह से आपको अपने कस्टमर्स जो है ना आइडेंटिफाई कर सकेंगे. तो अगर हम एग्रीकल्चर सेक्टर को देख के फार्मर देखेंगे तो वो हमारे बेस्ट कस्टमर्स हैं क्योंकि उनको बहुत से प्रॉब्लम है जैसे उनको सही मार्केट नहीं मिलता. हम एज अ कंसल्टेंट उनकी हेल्प कर सकते हैं ऐसा स्टार्टअप बना सकते हैं हमारा अपना रेवेन्यू भी आएगा और वो जो फार्मर्स हैं उनको भी मतलब एक सही गाइडलाइन मिलेगी उनके इस तरह के उनकी चीजें जो मार्केट तक पहुंचानी उनको भी एक गाइड मिल जाएगी उनका भी जो फायदा होगा हमारे मुल्क के इकोनॉमी का भी इससे फायदा होगा. दूसरा जो फायदा है उसमें कि उनको फंडिंग के इश्यूज है इस तरह मतलब जब किसी फसल के मतलब उगाने तो कल्टीवेट करने का सीजन आता है तो उनके पास मतलब बीज के लिए मसले होते हैं खाद के लिए मसले होते हैं तो इन चीजों को भी मतलब एड्रेस करने के लिए ऐसा कोई कंसल्टेंट काम कर सकते हैं जिससे मतलब उनकी हेल्प हो और इस तरह से हमारा एग्रीकल्चर सेक्टर भी जो है वो एक स्मूथ तरीके से चलना शुरू हो जाएगा. और तीसरी बात कि जो एग्रीकल्चर है हमारे मुल्क में वो सिर्फ और सिर्फ इस हद तक वो हो गया है कि सिर्फ हम मतलब चीजें को प्रोड्यूस करते हैं मतलब बाकी चीजों जो इसका एक अलग वो है जिस तरह डेयरी फार्मिंग होती है जहाँ स्टिच वगैरह होते हैं जिससे पोल्ट्री फार्म्स होते हैं वहाँ पे एक मतलब यहाँ पे पाकिस्तान में एक मतलब वहाँ पे वो है और हमारे प्रेसिडेंट भी अभी जो है ना अभी अपनी बिजनेस में उसने कहा था कि हम किस तरह से ना इस चीज में वो इनोवेशन लाएंगे. तो इस तरह भी हम अपनी मतलब कि कंसल्टेंट काम करके एक नया आइडिया लाके कि किस तरह से जो है ना फार्मिंग को हम एक्सटेंड करें और उसको अपने मुल्क की बाउंड्रीज से बाहर लेके जाएं. जैसे हमारे पड़ोस में मुल्क हैं जैसे चाइना हो गया अफगानिस्तान हो गया यूएई हो गया वहाँ पे एक्सपोर्ट मतलब के गोश्त के मतलब इंपोर्ट की बहुत जरूरत है उनको गोश्त की बहुत जरूरत है. तो हम अपने मतलब फार्मिंग कर सकते हैं ऑस्ट्रिच फार्मिंग कर सकते हैं बाकी चीजों की जिससे हम गोश्त प्रोड्यूस करेंगे वो मतलब कि वो एक अच्छे मार्केट से हम लोकल मार्केट को इससे टच करेंगे उसके साथ साथ जो है इंटरनेशनल लेवल पे भी चीजें जाएंगी. इससे हमारे इकोनॉमी को मुख्तलिफ तरह से फायदा होता है क्योंकि एक तो हमारे फॉरेन रिजर्व भी इससे बढ़ेंगे ठीक है और हमारे लिए एक मतलब मार्केट जो है ना इस तरह बताया गया कि मार्केट जो है ना वो आप लार्ज लेवल पे सोचिए स्मॉल मार्केट ना सोचिए स्मॉल मार्केट होगा तो आप वो सिचुएशन हो जाएगा. इस तरह से हमारा मार्केट भी बड़ा होगा रेवेन्यू को कमाने की चीजें जो है वो बढ़ती जाएंगी और अपॉर्चुनिटीज जो है ज्यादा दी
Thank you very much. There are some comments made by our participants who are online as well, about 33 people sitting there. मैं पहले कुछ लोगों ने जो comments उसमें एंटर किए हुए मैं वो पढ़ के सुनाता हूँ. फिर एक साहब है रुमान खालिद, he wants कि उनको unmute किया जाए and he wants to say something. But before that, just a few comments. There's a comment made by Mr. Salman Amin. And Salman is a senior member from Islamabad. He's an executive director at NEPRA. He's saying to what extent an understanding of operational aspects guarantee that it is a good business idea. Likewise, how viable is it to engage a sector expert in initial phase? For example, a global partner. I think both very, very valid points. So if you feel you have an understanding on the entire, operational aspect of the business, to what extent does that guarantee that it's going to be a successful business idea launch? And number two, if you're talking about expertise, is it a good idea to bring in global experts? I mean, think straight away, starting with the partnership with global partners.
Can I contribute in that?
Sure.
Well, I must first of all say these are very good questions. With regard to whether your technical expertise are a guarantee of success, remember there is no word such as guarantee in the very word business word. The higher the higher the if you are technically competent, assuming everything else is there, your odds just get so much better. That's there. The second question, whether you should involve a partner, well, in this question, a global partner, why not? I mean, if you are getting a good deal, if you are not feeling somebody is getting on your shoes, that can help expand your reach, that can help expand your business. I don't see a reason why not. Obviously, that would depend very much on what are the terms of the partnership that you are offered, whether that sits in line with your vision, the idea that you have to grow your business. If that is there, having a partner, look, you are kind of sharing the risk. And I know some of our people like to think as sharing the returns, but I like to think of saying multiplying the return. What you are doing is you are increasing the size of the cake. So your pie would be bigger than the much smaller cake you would have otherwise. So as we discussed, assuming everything else stays the same, the answer is yes, why not?
And the way the thing is, there could be a prospect for our finance professionals. The thing is raised by our brother in another station. So we can provide a tailor-made specific services made up for the startups. Technopreneurship. This is something happening in a huge amount in Pakistan. People are sitting here, they are doing the coding services and all, programming and all that. But what do they really lack at? They lack at the professional accountancy services. And we can work on that, providing some services to these new startups at a minimal cost, which can be affordable for them. So this could be something. Food for thought.
We have one more comment from Lahore, and after that, Roman, if you can line up your microphone, I'm going to unmute you just after we hear this comment from Lahore.
I just want to add one point regarding the compliance issues, like how much easy it is to set up a company in Pakistan. Like if you get stuck up in FPR for an audit, even though all things are clear, even then it is quite difficult to get out of that stuff.
I think that's an opportunity. I look at that as an opportunity.
Get my card. Your problem is solved.
And I was about to bring in more competition for you, by the way. The thing is that this is an opportunity for accountants. If you ask a Chinese company of of what is the most difficult thing for them to do in Pakistan, and they would say you're dealing with the authorities.
Incorporation,
No, it
business
is- it is-
incorporation.
so it is difficult for the Pakistanis also.
Exactly. So here we are, a group of experts, 100 experts, almost all ready to make these services available, to the Chinese investors.
जो अडॉप्ट करते हैं FDI especially, उसमें हम जाने से भी घबरा रहे होते हैं कि उसमें और कोई complication.
That's right. But by the way, I mean, this brings another important point that are we eligible? Yes, the Securities and Exchange Commission of Pakistan allow ACCN members in practice to be intermediaries for SECP. Company registration, etc. SEC members have been allowed to do that, but with a practicing certificate. Similarly, FDR, Umar Bhai is an expert sitting here. He can tell us more about FDR than anyone else in our membership. So that's another opportunity. I mean, think about that. Roman, if you are ready.
Before Roman starts, let me just add one thing, which I was discussing before, and I think Zishan also covered in his presentation. I always believe it's not competition, it's collaboration. For example, I give an example. If you go in DHA, you'll see a spare parts shop and hardly any customer. You go to Shah Alam Market and you'll see thousands of shops and each one of them overflowing with customers.
Very true.
So when you increase the size of the cake, the pie for everyone increases. So I'm all for it. Anyone of you want some guidance or collaborate? Most welcome.
And I can witness, I can say seriously, Umar Bhai is someone who is really always there to extend his hand if you're looking for some help.
एक issue मैं भी share करना चाहूँगा.
हम रोमान से बात कर लेंगे. Roman, if you're ready, I'm going to unmute you. Here we go.
अस्सलाम वालेकुम. जी मेरी आवाज आ गया?
Yes, we can hear you.
जी आप लोगों की सबकी बातें बहुत गौर से सुनी है मैंने और बहुत मैं इस बात को नोटिस किया है कि जो दूसरे मेंबर्स हैं वो भी कितना इंटरेस्टेड है सिर्फ जॉब से हट के बल्कि अपना बिजनेस स्टार्ट करने में. मैं खुद एक सीपक प्रोजेक्ट से वाबस्ता हूँ लेकिन यहाँ पे एज ए एम्प्लॉय नहीं बल्कि एज ए कंसल्टेंट, और जो कंसल्टेंट है मैं उस कंसल्टेंट का एम्प्लॉय. यहाँ पे हम लोग फाइनेंशियल एंड टैक्सेशन सर्विसेज देते हैं. जो बात नोटिस की है चाइनीज कंपनी की बात है, मैं उसको पहले थोड़ा सा कहना चाहूँगा. सिपक के जो जितने भी प्रोजेक्ट्स हैं इसमें जो एटीट्यूड है चाइनीज का वो मेरी नाकिस राय के मुताबिक उनके अपने नेशनल्स को रोजगार देना और पैसा कमाना और बाहर चले जाना है, वो भी अपनी नाकिस राय में. यहाँ पे वो जिस मकसद के लिए आए हैं वो मकसद वो बिल्कुल पूरा कर रहे हैं और ऐसा तरीके से कर रहे हैं. फॉर एग्जाम्पल यहाँ पे बिजली के जो इंडस्ट्री लगी है, प्लांट लगा है, उसमें वो बिजली बनाना उनका काम तो बन रहा है. बट साथ ही जो गवर्नमेंट हमारी गवर्नमेंट ऑफ पाकिस्तान है उसने जो टैक्स इंसेंटिव दिया है उसकी कुछ ये सूरत हाल है कि इनकम टैक्स कम्प्लीटली एग्जम्प्ट है जो ऑनर कंपनी है उस पर, और कस्टम ड्यूटी ना होने के बराबर है. तो ये सारी मुलाकात हैं जो चाइनीज कंपनी को दी है, और जो प्लांट बिल्ड किया है उसकी कॉस्ट कम्प्लीटली रीइंबर्स की है गवर्नमेंट ऑफ पाकिस्तान ने. अब इस सारी मुलाकात के बदले में जो चाइनीज है उसने क्या किया है कि मोर देन 50% एम्प्लॉय जो है वो चाइना से आया है, इसके एम्प्लॉय ज्यादातर चाइना का ही है. और जो फाइनेंस एंड टैक्सेशन सर्विसेज है उसके मोस्ट ऑफ द प्रोजेक्ट जिनको मैं जानता हूँ वहाँ पे आउटसोर्स किया है कंसल्टेंट्स को, एम्प्लॉय नहीं रखा. और कंसल्टेंट्स को जो यहाँ पे जो मेरी नोटिस में बात आई है वो ये कि चाइनीज जो है वो कॉस्ट सेविंग के पर्सपेक्टिव से कंसल्टेंट रखता है. तो अब यहाँ पे अपॉर्चुनिटी तो बहुत बड़ी अपॉर्चुनिटी है कि जो एसीसी मेंबर्स हैं ये लोग अगर अकाउंटिंग और टैक्सेशन सर्विस फर्म को हैंडल कर सकते हैं तो जितने प्रोजेक्ट्स होंगे हर प्रोजेक्ट में एक कंसल्टेंट चाहिए. और माइंडसेट मैंने बताया कि वो एम्प्लॉय के बजाय कंसल्टेंट को प्रेफर करते हैं. लेकिन एबिलिटी कहाँ है एसीसी मेंबर्स की कि हम जितने लोग यहाँ मौजूद हैं एक एक अपनी फर्म खोल के बैठ जाएं जो एक्सपर्ट इतने हों कि वो एक कंपनी के सारे ऑपरेशंस संभाल सकें, टैक्सेशन और अकाउंटिंग से रिलेटेड ऑडिट हैंडल करा सकें, एससीसीबी को देख सकें, इंडिविजुअली और अपना जूनियर स्टाफ तो रखें लेकिन फर्दर किसी सुपरविजन के बगैर। तो मैं ये समझता हूँ कि हम अभी इस पोजीशन पे नहीं पहुंच सके। मैं 5 साल का मेरे पास एक्सपीरियंस है ऑडिट फर्म का, लेकिन ये कि हम लोग तो यहाँ प्रैक्टिस, अगर हम ऑडिटर सर्टिफिकेट की बात करें तो वो तो हमारे पास है नहीं, हम ऑडिट फर्म तो नहीं हो सकते। टैक्स प्रैक्टिशनर अगर हम बनना चाहें तो उसका हमारे को गाइडलाइन ऐसा मुझे तो नहीं है, क्योंकि मैंने देखा बहुत बड़ा एरिया तो यहाँ ओपन हो चुका है इसी पैक की शक्ल में, लेकिन हम वहाँ जाना भी चाहें तो इस तरह जा नहीं सकते। तो अगर ACCA इसके दरमियान और अगर एक रोल सेट कर ले, क्योंकि बहुत बड़ा ये CPEC प्रोजेक्ट शुरू हो चुका है, लेकिन वो उनका माइंड सेट तो ये है कि वो कंसल्टेंट्स को रखते हैं और कंसल्टेंट जो है उसको बनाने के लिए थोड़ी सी ट्रेनिंग चाहिए होगी और स्टार्ट करने में जो कॉस्ट है वो कैसे हम बियर करें, ये सारी बातें अगर हमारे को थोड़ा गाइड कर दिया जाए तो मेरा ख्याल है इसमें हम हमारी मेंबर्स की कराची में पूरे पाकिस्तान में ग्रोथ जो है वो बहुत हो जाएगी और मेरा ख्याल है इससे नंबर ऑफ न्यू एंट्रीज टू द ACCA क्वालिफिकेशन भी इंक्रीज होंगे। तो मैं चाहूँगा कि ये चीज़ अगर हमारे ACCA हेडक्वार्टर तक पहुँच सके, जो जिम्मेदार हैं उन तक पहुँच सके, कि हमें थोड़ा सा इस हमारे को जो वेबिनार्स होते हैं वो हमारी टैक्स नॉलेज, SCCP, डिफरेंट अकाउंटिंग स्टैंडर्ड्स पे तो हम अपडेट होते रहते हैं, मैं खुद अटेंड कर रहा होता हूँ, लेकिन आज जो जैसा कि रिलेवेंट भी है कि एंटरप्रेन्योर में स्पेसिफिक होकर बात करूँ तो हम सर्विसेज प्रोवाइडर बनना चाहें तो अपना एक दोबारा बनाना चाहें, लेकिन हम बनाने की अहलियत नहीं रखते। तो इसमें हमें किस तरह ACCA सपोर्ट कर सकता है, तो काइंडली ये चीज़ अगर ACCA के जो डिसीजन मेकर्स हैं उन तक पहुंचे, तो आज तक ऐसा हुआ तो नहीं है, लेकिन अगर हमें इसकी ट्रेनिंग मिल जाए तो ये बहुत अच्छा हमारे यहाँ पे रास्ता खुल चुका है। हम उसको हम इतने काबिल तो हैं, डायरेक्ट कैपेबिलिटी भी है तो कोई क्वेश्चन मार्क नहीं, हमने पहले ACCA क्वालिफाई किया, लेकिन इसमें ट्रेनिंग अगर हमें मिल जाए तो बहुत ज़्यादा बात आगे बढ़ सकती है। तो आज का बेसिक तो मेरा यही कहना था और ये पैसे पहुँचाना था, तो अगर इस पर मजीद भी कोई कुछ कहना चाहे तो बहुत अच्छा होगा। थैंक यू।
I think that's a very valid idea. I think आपकी आवाज़ रोमाना ने point, लेकिन I can understand कि your idea was fair members, some able to mainly in the background of CPEC. So Umar साहब ने भी ये बात कही कि reminded की बात है कि next week the whole and we would have to do you have to go the idea that I'm not home. But definitely there's a demand. I look for extra people. They are contact come back to you. So maybe the forum here is maybe the next now can talk about have some budget here by the way. So we have to get rid of that. So have that so we can get it. Thank you very much, Rohan.
Thank you. Most welcome.
Islamabad, Mohsin कुछ कहना चाह रहे हैं, raising his hand, and I'm just going to unmute him. Ji Mohsin, please go ahead.
So, in addition to what Roman has said, I mean, मैं जॉब सर्चिंग पे लगा हूँ, मैं कुछ महीने से मेरे पास जॉब नहीं है, तो I have like 7 or 8 years of experience in working in NGOs. So अभी रिसेंटली जब मैं जॉब पोर्टल्स पे जाता हूँ और रिक्वायरमेंट्स देखता हूँ तो उसमें कुछ डोनर स्पेसिफिक रिक्वायरमेंट्स होती हैं कि एम्प्लॉई यानी जो अप्लाई कर रहा है उसको डोनर रूल्स का एक्सपीरियंस हो। तो कोई ऐसी ट्रेनिंग ACCA ऑर्गेनाइज कर सकता है जिस तरह USAID हो गया, डेफिड हो गया, ECHO, जो बड़े डोनर्स हैं, और अफ्रीका में चूंकि काफी मार्केट है NGOs की और वहाँ पे मतलब काफी अपॉर्चुनिटीज होती हैं अकाउंटेंट्स के लिए और फाइनेंस डोनर्स के लिए, लेकिन वो एक क्राइटेरिया होता है कि डोनर स्पेसिफिक एक्सपीरियंस हो या नॉलेज डोनर का जो है नॉलेज हो, जो भी उनकी रिक्वायरमेंट्स होती हैं। तो USAID, डेफिड और ECHO ये 3-4 बड़े जो डोनर्स हैं, इनकी कोई मतलब एक ACCA ऑर्गेनाइज करवा सकते हैं ट्रेनिंग और एक सर्टिफिकेट मिल जाए जो भी पार्टिसिपेंट्स होता कि वो अपनी सीवी में ही अटैच कर सके that they have attended a training on the donor guidelines and donor rules, so that would help them like getting the jobs overseas, and that actually in turns will bring some foreign exchange in the country, like we're rendering the services and we'll get the foreign exchange. So
thank you very much. Great idea. If you can get in touch with me after the session, maybe on Monday, with this idea, I'd like to ask a few questions about it, and then we can look into the possibility of ACC offering it. Yes, that's my domain directly, so I'll definitely like to look forward. एक तो आपका idea, दूसरा Roman का idea on how can we conduct further trainings for members, making them capable and useful in this regard. Just a few more comments from our participants online. Muhammad Kashif Ramadan is saying, any information about palm olive processing plant in Pakistan? Anybody has any idea? Palm olive processing plant.
And manufacturing. Most of our manufacturing जो है वो कर रहे हैं.
Okay. Yeah, I can add for the olive farming.
Okay. Go on, Mohsin.
Yeah, in my previous NGO, we were working with the Agriculture Research Center in Chakwal. So, like the director, I can direct that person to the director because they were like they started this olive production, and it's also happening in NARC in Islamabad as well. So, like I have few contacts in that government department. So, like I can facilitate a meeting or something so that the person who is asking for the information, like
yes. Muhammad Kashif Ramzan, and Kashif, I would request you to get in touch with Mohsin. Mohsin, how should he get in touch with you?
I'm actually in KCC. He can contact me, or maybe we can share our numbers or whatever.
अच्छा, मैं suggest करता हूँ काशिफ, आप मुझे members.pk पे एक email भेज दें और मैं वो email मोहसिन को forward कर दूंगा, then you can get in touch with each other directly. Okay, thank you, Muhammad Kashif. Thank you. Roman, he is asking about you. What is your name, so you could introduce yourself to him again?
My name is Mohammed Zishan Razak, as I have earlier mentioned. Just the name?
Roman. All right, thank you very much. I think any more idea? We just saw a few hands going up here. Any further discussion? और उसके बाद हम webinar cut off कर देंगे. Then इस्लामाबाद में तो आप मोहसिन आप अकेले रहेंगे आप कराची में there we have a few colleagues sitting there. उसमें से भी दो मेरा ख्याल है getting late going home. But this discussion can now happen, go on further within cities, and then we'll disperse. Inshallah, I think this was a good idea. What do you think? Getting together. I mean, the whole idea was this interactive session. I'm talking to each other and all, right? So I found it exciting, interesting. I think बहुत primitive stage पर हैं हम अभी. We're just touching the surface. Right? We have to dig up deeper, right? और जो कुछ ideas आए हैं about trainings that need to be conducted. My purpose is served. I'm sure you would have picked up messages for yourselves as well, right? So with that, thank you very much. I hope you would have enjoyed the session today. Any final comment, wrapping up comment from anybody?
With every hurdle, there comes an opportunity. Yeah. Because जब भी आप काम start करते हैं, तो आपके पास hurdles आते हैं. और with hurdles, आपको opportunities भी नजर आने शुरू होती हैं. यहाँ पे भी अपॉर्चुनिटी है, ये हर्डल थी मेरे पास, मैंने रिजॉल्व खुद कैसे किया या मेरे पास रिसोर्सेज क्या थे रिजॉल्व करने के, तो उससे ऑटोमेटिकली अपॉर्चुनिटी आपके सामने आ सकती है. यार मेरे पास ये हर्डल्स हैं एंड मैं हर्डल्स को खत्म करने के लिए जो मैं काम कर रहा हूँ उस काम में मेरे पास अपॉर्चुनिटी भी नजर आती है. तो जो भी रुकावट है उसको अपॉर्चुनिटीज नजर आएंगी.
Adding up to that, there is no failure. So don't be afraid of the failures. There are only feedbacks. And I'm really thankful to all of you who joined here in person, and all the attendees who has joined us in different locations and through webinar link. Specifically, I want to mention Mohsin Saab. He is a flag bearer of Islamabad office. I'm really grateful you are there, and all of you.
And you need to go and motivate more people in Islamabad.
Thumbs up.
Okay, Karachi, I think wants to say something. Yes, Karachi.
ऐसे फ्यूचर सेमिनार्स होने चाहिए, ऐसे नेटवर्किंग अपॉर्चुनिटी होती है। सबसे पहले तो बहुत शुक्रिया सब लोगों का, हमने बहुत सीखा और हम उम्मीद करते हैं कि फ्यूचर में भी ऐसे मौके होंगे और नेटवर्किंग। और बस मैं इसको क्लोजिंग पॉइंट ऑफ व्यू पे एक छोटा सा आइडिया नहीं था, एक कमेंट था कि जो बिजनेस आइडिया है मोस्टली आजकल जो इंडस्ट्री में आइडियाज हैं बेसिकली वो ऐसे आइडियाज होते हैं जिसकी जरूरत नॉर्मली नहीं होती। तो वी नीड टू फोकस के वी नीड टू अंडरस्टैंड व्हाट इज द नीड पहले नीड को आइडेंटिफाई करके उसका आइडिया होना चाहिए। दूसरी बात ये कि लोग स्टार्टअप्स लेते हैं, जैसे काफी दोस्त हैं मेरे जिनके 4 से 5 स्टार्टअप्स चल रहे होते हैं। मुझसे मिलेंगे, वो कहेंगे शकील साहब हमारी ये स्टार्टअप्स हैं, मैं प्रिंटर भी बना रहा हूँ, ये भी बना रहा हूँ। व्हाट आई सजेस्ट के एक रेवेन्यू स्ट्रीम पे जो है वो फोकस होना चाहिए। बस इस पे ही मैं क्लोज करना चाहूँगा कि एक रेवेन्यू स्ट्रीम पे जो फोकस होगा तो इट वुड बी मोर फोकस बिजनेस इन लॉन्ग टर्म पर्सपेक्टिव के हिसाब से। थैंक यू।
I would, that's actually whatever brother is saying, that's right. But the thing is, one revenue stream for one startup, but don't restrict yourself to one startup. If you have more, you want to go for more startups, go for that. Yeah, so this is all about taking the risks and chances of your success. Will say sign off? Yeah.
I would like to once again thank ACCA and the one we did not thank, the presenter, Nishan.
Thank you.
So thank you very much for
It's
today.
absolutely wonderful.
And hopefully we'll see you all next week. You'll get an email from Members Affairs. Have a good day.
Thank you.
Thank you very much.
You're not doing wrong. I have something to discuss with you after the session.
Absolutely.
Thank you very much. Take care. Have a nice weekend and Allah Hafiz.